Yeah, so Trump has like 15-point plan to end the war because that's how easy it is.
More, right?
We do, because we want to get back to the intensifying situation in the Middle East as the wheels of diplomacy turn in the conflict with Iran. The Pentagon is keeping up the pressure on the regime. It's preparing to deploy one of the most elite and iconic forces in the U.S. military to the Persian Gulf. And Matt Finn is in.
Can we go back to being pew-pew loving anti-monarchy Americans yet? Half joking. I mean, that's why I tell people I'm not an anti-gun owner. Promise you that.
Dubai with more. Hi, Matt.
Hi, Dana. Today marks the second day of President Trump's pause on striking Iran's infrastructure. It's potentially opening up a path to diplomacy. And President Trump says the U.S. is having peace talks with Iran. But so far, Iran has been denying the past couple of days that those talks are happening. Now, this morning, the Wall Street Journal.
Of course they're denying it because it's not happening. Trump isn't talking to anybody.
Reports that the United States has sent Iran a 15-point plan to end the war. It's largely what the U.S. was asking of Iran before Operation Epic Fury began. The document was sent through intermediaries, and it calls on Iran in part to dismantle 3 nuclear sites and any enrichment on Iranian soil and to dismantle its ballistic missile program. In return, Iran would have nuclear-related sanctions lifted. Now, yesterday, the Prime Minister of India said he had a productive call with the president about peace, and Pakistan says it's willing to physically host or facilitate talks for a settlement here in the Middle East.
Pakistan and India working together in 2026,
Major General
baby.
Brandon Tegmeyer has been ordered to deploy here to the Middle East as the Trump administration decides whether to send the entire elite 82nd Airborne Division for possible operations. That could mean thousands of additional U.S. troops in addition to the Marines already deployed here.
Boots on the ground, baby. It's coming. It's coming. Boots on the ground is coming.
Could be boots on the ground in Iran or taking critical Karg Island. And Saudi Arabia and the UAE have proposed a new trade route that would use the Gulf but avoid the Strait of Hormuz. It connects Daman and Sharjah without using the strait, which is, as we know, effectively closed as Iran holds its grip on it. And today the UAE says it is now engaged more than 1,800 drones since Operation Epic Fury began. A short while ago, our cell phones went off, giving us a warning about possible incoming here, but then the all clear was given as well. Dana, Bill.
What the fuck? Why am I getting a fucking ad right now? Are we serious? I installed an ad blocker.
Matt Finn.
So, Dana, just want to run down a little bit about what's happening in the region, in the theater, and knowing that there's more firepower coming in. 82nd Airborne and the Marine Expeditionary Units, 2 of them here. You've got the Navy spread out and well around the area of Iran. On the Strait of Hormuz, Matt was touching on this a little bit. There's these little islands that are, not a lot of people live there. In fact, they're just manned on behalf of the Iranian military. And they're right here in the Strait of Hormuz. If I can go ahead and pop this up for you. You know, this waterway here gets very narrow and it gets very shallow too, especially at low tide. But these islands here, I'll go in one more thing. These are part of the Naziyet Islands, okay? And you've got Abu Musa, Greater Toom, Lesser Toom. Why are they significant? They're essentially beachheads in the middle of this strait that can be manned on behalf of the Iranians, and they can be manned with anti-ship missiles. And they've been hit a couple times now by the U.S. And the Israeli military. So I'll just come over here and show you a little bit of what the satellite imagery is showing us. On one of these islands, Abu Musa that I just mentioned right there, you can have a port here on behalf of the Iranian military. All right, this is the before picture. Slide on over here, Jimmy, and I'll show you the other strike damage here. That building is gone. It's just been entirely removed. Here's another island here. I'll point to 2 things on the map here. This building here and this hangar over here have both been targets, all right? This is the before image. Pop on over here, and that one's gone, and that one's gone as well. Why could this be significant? If the Marines or the 82nd Airborne is going to take territory, you know, somewhere in the Strait of Hormuz, these would be the...
Fox News isn't even fucking denying it anymore. Fox News isn't even saying like, oh, we don't want boots on the ground. Boots on the ground would never happen. They're just fully endorsing it. We're getting ready for boots on the ground.
Islands you would man in part to make sure that shipping
Fucking
lines are safe to go
ridiculous,
through.
dude.
It's a big challenge. Robert O'Brien joins me now to talk about this and whether or not getting anywhere in these talks. And sir, welcome back to our coverage. It's good to have you.
Good to be with you, Bill.
We have the list of the Iranian demands so far. And I'll just tick them off. Closing all military bases in the Persian Gulf is one. The payment of the reparations for the attacks on Iran. You've got an order for the Strait of Hormuz that allows Iran to charge transit fees to the waterway. And there's like 4 or 5 other things on here that I cannot see the Americans agreeing to. How do you go about this?
Well, Bill, that's not going to happen. That's an Iranian, fairy tale wish list. President Trump has been very clear on this from the start. He sent Jared and Steve Witkoff to Geneva and to Oman before the Operation Epic Fury. And he said, look, Iran, you have to dismantle your nuclear program. You have to take out your ballistic missile program. And you have to stop paying your proxies. You have to stop paying Hamas and Hezbollah and the Houthis to attack Israel and the U.S. and shipping in the region. That's it. And if you don't do it, we're going to hit you. And the Iranians came back and reportedly said that they were going to build 10 nuclear bombs. And they got Epic Fury in response. Now, after a month of war, a month of Iran being pounded, President Trump has all the leverage again in the negotiations, and we'll see what the Iranians are going to do.
And we'll see if they sit down, which has not been confirmed either.
Yeah.
Here's the president yesterday talking about this prize. Go ahead and roll this here.
They're going to make a deal. They did something yesterday that was amazing, actually. They gave us a present, and the present arrived today. And it was a very big present worth a tremendous amount of money. It wasn't nuclear related. It was oil and gas related. And it was a very nice thing they did.
See you later, Alexei. This is like, dude, it's so weak looking. He looks so weak doing this.
But what it showed me is that we're dealing with the right people.
Okay, how do you interpret that when you read between the lines based on the people you're talking to? What's that mean?
Well, look, Bill, the whole regime was wiped out. From the Ayatollah down, the top 50 leaders in the regime were taken out. So we need some sort of proof that the people we're talking to actually have the authority to negotiate. And so my guess is, and I don't know, I haven't talked to the president about this, but my guess is that they let a tanker through or something of that nature to show that they had the authority to negotiate, kind of a proof of authority. They've now done that, and now the negotiations can start, and we'll see if they can, fulfill their obligations that they agree to.
There's one report, Iranian English television is saying that just crossed the wires about 7 minutes ago from the AP, that they're denying the initial offer on behalf of the Americans. Stand by on that. John Brennan used to run the CIA. Have you been watching some of these comments? Just go ahead and play the clip about how he trusts the Iranians more than the American president.
John Brennan's such a guy. He's such a guy.
Well, I tend to believe Iran more than I do Donald Trump, because he could not acknowledge the truth, even when he's slapped in the face with it repeatedly. He's going to make these claims about negotiations that the Iranians now are sending signals that they really want to make a deal, and indicates that they're going to make a deal on our terms. I don't think anything close to the truth in that statement.
Who are they cheering for?
Well, this is no surprise coming from Brennan, unfortunately, and sadly, he did so much damage to the CIA with his Russiagate hoax, and he's been a very bad actor in the intelligence community. And he's done lasting damage to America. And now the fact that he's basically shilling for the Iranians and criticizing the president of the United States, which I would have never done that with Biden or Obama, and most Republicans wouldn't have. But
Yeah. Okay. All right, buddy.
he's basically rooting for the Iranians is really a heartbreak to see a former official do that.
Wow, the lying
Robert,
is
good
just
to see you
so
again.
blatant.
Thank you,
I
Bob.
always
Thank you.
forget about it
Amazing
until I
things coming
watch
together. We'll
Fox.
see. Robert O'Brien, thanks for your time. Be sure to like.
This is what these geriatric fucks listen to day in and day out. Notably, Israel is not involved in the move for negotiations. Israel has depicted itself as following Trump's lead, while it seems unlikely to continue with strikes on Iran if the U.S. declared an end to the war. Still, it pursued its own war aims beyond the Americans. Its bombing last week of Iran's offshore South Pars natural gas field triggered intensified Iranian attacks on the Gulf Arab states. And Trump told Israel to halt such attacks. In a statement late Monday, Netanyahu acknowledged Trump's diplomatic efforts, but said Israel will continue to strike its enemies for the time being. It's not a good look for you, Israel. Israel, it's not a good look for you. On the other hand, Soufan Center noted Trump could be buying time for thousands of Marines heading to region to arrive. Oh my God. Two ways of this going. Trump, pulls out completely and says, we won, and, just ignores Iran. Genuinely just ignores Iran. Or boots on the ground. Complete, total ground invasion of Iran. Which would be a clusterfuck. So we'll see. We'll see where it goes. Donald J. Trump. Only you know where the war is going. Deploy at least 1,000 fucking troops. That's a lot of U.S. troops. On top of what we already have in that area.